Your alarm went off for your pill.
Good evening. Can you all hear me okay?
Hear you now.
Perfect. Okay, we're just waiting for one more member. We'll get started in a few moments.
All right, let's call this meeting to order. Monterey Peninsula Unified School District Systems Bond Oversight Committee. Call to order at 5:03. Heidi, could you call the roll, please?
Kevin Dayton,
Here.
Carmel York,
She's muted.
Here.
Richard Pagnello,
Here.
Ashika Shadeo,
She answered in the chat.
having an audio issue. Adam Gonzalez,
Here.
Ethelyn Thomas, and Charmaine Jones.
Here.
Singapore.
Great, and maybe staff, you can introduce yourselves.
I am Heidi Gaddy, admin assistant for Ryan Altmeyer.
Just a second. Sorry.
You don't have to unmute. We got it here.
Okay. Jody Shizzle. I work with the bond. I'm assigned to the business office.
Good evening, Ryan Altemeyer, Associate Superintendent of Business Services.
Very good. Introduction of new member.
I think she's having some audio issues. Give me 1 second.
Perhaps, Mr. Dale, I'm not sure if you can hear us. Maybe you could try using the call-in number and see if we can get audio that way.
Well, let me get back to that later.
Yeah, she's logging out, gonna log back in and try to get the audio to work. She just did that chat.
Why don't we move on to general public comments before the introduction of the new member. This is the opportunity for the public to speak on items that are not specifically on the agenda. And you will get 3 minutes to speak. Or is there anybody in the public who wishes to speak on a general public comment? All right. Do we have this idea, if she's not on, do we have a quorum?
Yeah, we probably want to wait for her to
Why don't we wait
reconnect.
for her to come back?
We technically do because we have 5, but.
Okay.
Give her a second to wait. Yeah.
Can't see.
Is she communicating with anyone?
Not, no.
Ms. Thomas, did she appear anywhere?
Yeah.
Okay, with
She's joining right now.
Oh, good.
Yeah. She's coming. Definitely.
Hello, Ms. Thomas. We're just waiting for introduction of new member who's disconnected, and you've had general public comment. So that's where we are right now. All right, why don't we go on, and if Ms. Sardino comes on, we can at the next, after we finish the agenda item, we'll have her introduce herself. Next, review and adopt minutes of June 8th, 2022 meeting. And we submit 2 minor typographical errors for correction. Does anybody else have any changes or comments about the minutes? All right, we have a motion to adopt the minutes.
Motion.
Second.
Move approval.
Okay, we have a motion.
I second the motion. Charmaine seconds the motion.
Let me clarify who motioned, because I believe Adam did
Yeah.
first.
Adam did it first, and I think Mr.
I know.
Pagnell
I thought so.
slipped in second, so.
Oh.
But Jermaine, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's do a roll call to approve the adoption of the minutes.
Kevin Dayton,
Aye.
Cardinal York,
Aye.
Richard Pagnello,
Yes.
Ashika Shadeo, Adam Gonzalez,
Aye.
Ethelyn Thomas,
Ms. Thomas? All right, so we're on.
Jermaine Jones,
Yes, I approve.
All right, moving on to E. This is the review financials for Measure P and project updates, second quarter, April 1st, 2022 to June 30th, 2022. And there should be in front of you the report for that. And Ryan, why don't you begin with the introductory page 1?
Absolutely. And before I do that, I would just like to recognize Ms. Chisholm for her hard work on getting all of these reports done. It takes a lot of time and effort to compile and make sure that the reports are completed correctly. So I just want to thank her publicly for her hard work on that. The first report that we're going to review, so just to remind the committee, these reports are going to look at Measure P and Measure I. We're going to first look at the project updates, and then we'll go into an in-depth look at the fiscal activity with the warrant reports for each. So the first is Measure P. This was a $110 million bond that was passed in 2010. So Mr. Chair, I think and previously you would like to go page by page and review with the
Yes.
committee.
And if I remember right, there's going to be a point soon where we're no longer getting these reports because you're down to 0 on that, correct?
That's correct. Measure P has been fully expensed. We no longer have any new expenditures coming. So you will no longer see, I believe after this report, you shouldn't see any subsequent reports for Measure P unless there is any outstanding fiscal activity, something that may fall through. However, at this point, we think everything should be captured here.
Well, good. I'll note for the public, this bond was approved in 2010 and 2022. It is fully used. So, you know, this school district doesn't have bond measure money hanging around for 25 years. That's good. All right, if you go to page 2, you'll see the list of the sites and the little bit of spending that was done for what's left of Measure P. If you could take a look at that and indicate if you have any questions. Any questions? All right, that's done. Moving on to page 3. This is the detailed backup here. Let's go to what's listed on the bottom as page 4 and start looking at these expenditures.
So, Mr. Chair, this is actually, that was the conclusion of item E. So this will be moving into
Yes.
item F.
That's correct. Item F is review warrant activity for Measure P, April 1st, 2022 to June 30th, 2022. We're starting here on page 3. We'll move on to page 4. You'll see on the bottom the page numbers, and we'll just go through each page. And if you have a question, bring it up, and if not, we'll move to the next page. So starting with page 4.
I just want one question. Moving on through the other pages, I saw the reference G722-0136 is pertaining to both Monterey and Marine and high schools. I was wondering, is that like a, and it's pertaining to so many different things. What is that referring to? Is it a group?
Are you referring to the reference where it says GJ 22-00935 and
The one in question, it was that GJ 22-01376. I see that. I'm moving ahead now.
Okay.
Because it starts on page 4. I just kind of noticed it was all that. It's spread throughout the different schools. What is that reference?
Exactly what it is, the spread.
yes, so that's yeah. So
Is that another spread?
Yeah, so what you're going to see, this is the end of year, so this is the last quarter of fiscal activity for the school district. So what you're going to see is at the end of each fiscal year, we take all of the administrative costs that we have, so, Jody's time, any of the project management time, and then we spread that proportionally to every project. So you're going to see those expenditures a lot throughout the reports, because that is the spread accounting that we do at the end of the fiscal year.
Okay, I probably had that question before and I apologize.
No, it's a good question, because there's a lot of those.
All right,
What is the reference number again that you're asking about?
it's GJ 22-01376.
Starts at the bottom of page 4.
Yeah.
The very long item.
So everyone understands, and you see in that column that says reference GJ 22-01376. That's the administrative costs they spread out among the projects, and it's a accounting strategy. Any more questions about that? All right, let's look at let's look at page 4 here and see if there's anything of concern. All right, moving on, page 5. Any questions? Page 6. Any questions? Page 7. Moving on, page 8.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman, I think my page numbers are off from yours. Okay, so the one that we're looking at right now, what page number, you're calling that 8? Is that correct? All right, let me see.
On page 8, which is where I just moved to, you'll see at the bottom center of page 8. And at the top, it will say vendor report detail, measure P expenditure backup from 4/1/2022 to 6/30/2022. And I am looking at the PDF version
Okay.
of what is items E, F, G, and H. It was all together as one package.
Okay, can we move the screen onto the page you're talking about, page 8, so I can check it? Okay, thank you very much.
Page 7 in the book, your head is on the PDF version.
Oh, I think we've had this issue before where there's a.
Well, it's
page-
because the first couple pages of the report that are done by Key Analytics are page like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the numbers start beginning for the next section.
We should move through them, just discussing like district office administrative costs. And then it has a reference to that and just kind of go through those. So we're not.
Okay, so now your page 8 looks like my page 8. Thank you.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is, is anybody else looking at, I'm sure you're all on virtual looking at the PDF, correct? Nobody printed it out? I'm just gonna go by when I say page number, I'm going to go by the PDF page. For example, this page, which has the total administrative cost total, which is the page following what's up here now. I have that in the PDF as 9 of 134. And when everybody has that on their PDF as page 9 of their packet.
Yes.
Great. Okay, we'll do that. From now on, when I refer to pages, I'll refer to the page number of the PDF packet, so everybody's on the page. Adam, you had a question?
No.
Oh, we got it resolved. Okay, very good. All right, is there any other questions about that list of administrative costs for the spread? Which Adam got the question answered. Okay, let's move on to page 10 of the PDF now, and we are moving to item G. Review financials for Measure I and project updates, April 1st, 2022 to June 30th, 2022. Ryan, do you have anything to say about the cover sheet before we move into this?
Sure, this is just the majority of the expenditures, or actually all of the expenditures going forward will be Measure I. It was a $213 million bond passed in 2018. So this will be along the same vein. This is the end of the year fiscal activity. So you are going to see a lot of journal entries and expenses related to the spread accounting.
All right, let's move on to PDF page 11. Take a look at each item and see if there's anything you have questions about. Moving on to page 12. Moving on to page 13. Moving on to page 14. Moving to page 15. Moving to page 16. This is the detailed project expenditures. So now we are on PDF page 17.
And this is for, and this just for clarification is item H on the agenda.
Yes. All right, so why don't we start going through this? We're on page 17. It says at the top, Pumpkin Elementary replaced 5 portables. We're on to page 18. Page 19. Page 20. Page 21. Page 22. Page 23. Yes.
If I may, GJ 22-01488 is the reference number for the spread for measure I. We
Okay.
didn't see a lot of it.
Everybody get that? GJ 22-1410148 is what we discussed before, except this is for measure I. This is the administrative costs that are spread over the years.
Mr. Chair, may I make a suggestion just for this particular report? There are quite a few pages. So
Yes.
this total report's, I think, about 132 pages. So more than happy to go page by page and kind of do a page turn, not a problem. Or we maybe can spend some time if people want to review and then we can ask questions, whatever the committee prefers.
Vinny, what would you like to do? You want to go page by page or just take 5 to 10 minutes to look over the whole thing at your pace and ask questions?
We can pose a next time we meet, if anything we find after the fact, post hoc, we can mention something. Would that be okay? Like, I mean, like, say if you have a question, but it's after the fact, right? Can we bring it back up?
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't think there's any objections.
That way we're not trying to like mull through and.
Right. I just want to make sure, I think what we're trying to do is we show to the school board and to the public that yes, the committee, all the committee members looked over these line items and we really are doing our work to review this sort of thing. And that's the number one thing we should be doing so that when people start criticizing or have issues or another bond measure comes up in the future, we can say with confidence that this oversight committee did its job. That's the reason why we've been looking line by line on each of these. But I'm fine because this is so long. If everybody wants to take 10 minutes, I don't know if we should pause the meeting here or just go through it. We don't have anybody in the public, so maybe we can just continue on. Okay, so We're gonna give everybody until 5:35 to look at the remaining pages. And write down and at the end, we'll say what questions are there and see if you have, make sure you cite the PDF page and the item you have a question on. So let's begin.
Mr. Chairman, while we're reading that, I'd like to ask Ryan a question, a little separate from this. Can you tell us over the course of the various bond issues, the total amount of money the district has spent in regard to the lawsuit concerning Monterey High?
I don't have the answer to that readily available to me, but that's something that I could research and get back to you.
Yeah, I'd really like to know that.
Mr. Altemeyer,
Yes.
related to the previous question about the total for legal fees is just maybe a little review of why those fees would come out of the bond fees funds. You know, why and how that's covered according to the the rules and regulations.
Yes.
Is it on? Oh. I was gonna make a signal when I was here. No, I don't have to, I mean, I can wait a little bit more. You're at a meeting or do you know how long it's gonna be?
Mr. Altmark,
Yes.
can you please explain the advertising? I forget, are you advertising the bids? Or are you advertising the progress? I forget what that does.
That is the required advertisement that we must do for bids.
It is a bid. Okay, thank you.
Mr. Altamar, I have a question on page 109. Or do we wait? I'm sorry.
Why don't we wait until everybody finishes looking and.
Okay.
The things that you.
All right.
About.
Thank you.
I found a couple myself, you might actually all have the same. It will take 3 or 4 more minutes here. Does anyone need more time? All right.
No.
We'll begin asking questions. Who would like to ask the first question?
I have a question on page 109. It's just, I think it's the first time I noticed it, general question. It's C2 construction management under the Colton Middle School. And so they're listed as consulting, but of course it's not consulting, that's actual construction. Is that right? But because they're a corporate company that's sending you invoices, it's consulting?
Is this page, page 109 of the PDF, correct?
I believe so. Well, it's 108 and 109. I'm a little confused. On the written page number, I guess it is the PDF that was sent to us is 108. Sorry.
So if I could explain, if we go back to page 97, which would probably be 98 for you, about midway down the page, you're going to see a vendor name, RGM Kramer Incorporated. So everything here, from here until we see another vendor name on the left-hand side, is associated with RGM Kramer. These are the specific projects that they provided consulting and oversight over. And just as with myself, they have employees in their office who salaries and benefits, and those items during the year are put on a spread account line. But at the end of the year, they are taken and spread across all projects that RGM Kramer was associated with on a percentage basis.
And my question is going more towards the description.
Fits the vendor. So RGM Kramer provides consulting services for us. And so even though these are different projects, like the Crumpton Elementary HVAC engineering, that is simply the name of the project that RGM Kramer provided consulting services for.
And so you're answering the question to say they are not building anything, they are consulting.
Correct.
Yes, so our RG, they're their project managers, so they're not involved in the construction themselves. They are the firm that helps us manage the construction projects from start to finish.
Okay, so it's management. It's the management of the project, actually.
Yes, and that's considered accounting wise, it's considered a consulting service. It's an outside
Okay.
contract consulting, correct?
Okay, thank you.
This is a contract that's been approved and reapproved by the board over time. And my personal opinion, I think, Ryan, you've said this too before, some school districts try to go without umbrella oversight, and it's a disaster. And this school district has avoided doing that. RGM Kramer has been around for a long time, he's got a great reputation, and the school board is completely comfortable with this arrangement.
Does it say on page 98 that C2 Construction Management is the other name that you're using right now?
That's not the name, that's the expenditure type. So it's all under RGM Kramer. So I know I see why this is confusing, because this runs so many different pages. So the way that this port's broken down is by vendor. So it's the vendor and then the project under which that vendor has worked on. Because RGM Kramer basically touches every single project, that's why they're listed on every single project here. But the C2 construction is the expenditure type. It's not the name. That would be on page, I think, 98, as Jody pointed out, as the name of the vendor.
And 98 on the PDF. I'm just trying to find that name.
Tell you it is. It is, yes, 98 on the PDF.
I'm not seeing it on mine.
97.
So it's maybe,
Go up 197, RGM Kramer Inc.
All right, well, if you say it's there, that's fine. I'm having a little problem using this PDF. I don't know why. Thank you, Carmel and Mr. Altemeyer.
You're welcome.
Does anybody else have a question? I have a question. I understand about the spread of various expenses here. I'm wondering, I only find one instance of security services is for the Marina High School old locker room, and it's $2.15. And it seems very isolated. I'm just wondering what that was.
So in an effort to close out resource 9011, we were a few dollars short. And so to close resource 9011, we moved some very minor expenses from resource 9021, which is measure I, into measure P, and that's the $2.15 that you see. We moved it in there because it was our effort this year to close out resource 9011 measure P by the end of the 21-22 fiscal year.
Thank you.
Yes.
Good answer. Does anybody have any other questions? The bizarre world of accounting. I actually have a couple other questions. I noticed multiple emergency projects, and
I have those noted, if you can let me know the page.
oh yeah, sure. Well, I don't know if we need to get into the specifics. I saw Marina Del Mar, Seaside. Maybe just a brief description of what those have been in terms of what construction is there. And I do understand from reading the newspaper that the football field turf at Seaside High School, that would not appear in here, right? Because the contractor is paying for that.
Yeah, so the Seaside, that's a different project in general. We're working with our architects, contractors on the resolution for the field there. So that's not part of
So
that.
we don't see any of that.
You might see, there might be some expenditures related to that, but then there's offset by some either reimbursements to the architect or from the contractor themselves. In general, the emergencies, so we try to limit what we classify as an emergency. Typically, those are things that require us to act quickly because there's an issue that could further damage a project. let's say there's a water pipe that's flooded or something like that, where we need to act immediately to resolve an issue. Or it could also be that because it is, oh, 1 second here. The TV's going to turn off on me. Okay, I think
That was close.
all right, got down to 1 second. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I diffused the bomb there. Yeah, so, or it could be that we had to get the work done in a cost-effective manner. Say there was a contractor who was on site, who was finishing a project. There was something that came up, so we had to get them engaged because it was cheaper, much cheaper to get them to do the work than it is to go out through the entire bidding process again. So there's different classifications of that. If the specific ones, I think you mentioned Marina Del Mar, that was a significant water leak that we had in the field. So we addressed that immediately. Was there one other one that you mentioned?
I think Seaside High School. I thought I see 3 or 4 of them. In fact, let me just put it in emergency and they'll all pop up.
Some of those too,
Dual language
Mr.
cabinet.
Chairman, are a result of expenses from the spread hitting those specific projects. Because again, we take those costs for oversight and construction management and spread them to certain projects. I'm trying to find the ones because there were a couple.
Yeah, I see one for Dual Language Academy, 89,506. That would
If
be
you
on.
can tell me the page.
Yeah, sure. That would be PDF page 11.
That, I believe that was a roofing repair. To repair some substantial leaks that we had in the roof there.
We've already talked about Marina Del Mar, which was 60,323. Seaside High School, 96,790. I'm assuming that's something different than a football field.
That one I have to look up. Not,
And that, oh yeah, the Seaside one is on, I'm looking at PDF page 15.
okay.
Mr. Chairman, Richard Bagnello here.
Yes.
I need to leave the meeting. I'm sorry.
All right, thank you for letting us know and thank you for coming on. Before we go, did you have any questions about any items?
No, I don't. Thank you.
Very good, thank you. I do have a suggestion, and I think this, of course, we're not a policy making board, but if I were on the school board, I think having a list of all the emergency repairs that have to be routinely made and they come up, every quarter makes a good case to them and to the public in general that the old infrastructure of the school district is deteriorating and emergency repairs are not desirable, but when you have stuff you've inherited from the US Army and things that are 50, 60 years old, they're going to break. And I don't know if you've ever put that together, but it seems like almost every school at one time or another is having pipe breaks in particular. I remember the big pipe break up at, Bayside up the street from me and the water pouring down. I think it would be good to have a list like that and maybe to inform give the school board an idea of, this is why we have bond measures and why probably when Measure I expires, there will need to be another one. And I know some of those schools, especially in the old Fort Ord area, have been big time emergency repairs. So that's just a suggestion, nothing informal, but I think it would be enlightening for the board. I don't know if the superintendent pays attention to this stuff, but I've noticed routinely emergency repairs because of deterioration and failure.
Yeah, well said. You hit the nail on the head. The emergencies, they do go in front of the board, so they do review and they approve them. I typically do a presentation with the emergencies to show them what's happening. And so, yes, you're right. So some of these are things that are going to happen when you have facilities that are old as ours, that the maintenance needs to happen. The particular one at Seaside High was for a emergency repair of a water shutoff valve in the parking lot that was leaking, causing significant water leakage that we had to address quickly.
I think one thing we have to be careful, the oversight committee, is pay attention to things in the news media that people could grab a hold of. And we just need to continue to confirm at each of these meetings that none of the bond money is being spent on the football field turf issue, because that got into the news. Are there any other questions about E, F, G, and H, this whole package?
I do. Charmaine here at page 116 PDF number.
Okay.
The credit to the architect engineering fees of 10,501 on the lower part of that page. How do we end up with the credit?
Okay, so what page is she on? 115. I don't see a credit. So is that page 115 or 117?
This is 116 of the 134 page PDF.
Okay.
It's GI 22-01378. GL 22-01378.
Oh, yes, it says one page 16 on the bottom, and this would be PDF page 117 of 134. I see it there. The consulting, $10,000 credit.
If for some reason that expense was moved out,
I can't hear you. Are you answering?
I was saying that for some reason that expense was moved out, I can look up the journal reference number. Or if Ryan would prefer, I do this and Heidi sends out an email.
Yeah, we can get back to you on that. What Jody was saying is that it's not necessarily a credit. It just means that it was credited that line item and that expense was moved out of there. She'll research the backup to that particular transaction and we'll email the committee.
Okay, thank you.
So that it looks like a spread holding, right? So that's kind of, it looks like it might be a employee allocation.
That's not the spread number.
No,
No.
yeah, this would have been a specific charge not related to an employee.
Okay, DSC M&O trans, what does that stand for?
Yes, that's yes. So DSC, M&O, and transportation, that's DSC is the district service center, M&O is maintenance and operations, and then trans is transportation.
Okay.
Any other questions on E, F, G, or H? Are there any public comments? I don't think we have anybody from the public on.
Do not.
All right, moving on to item I, approved annual report for 2020-2021 fiscal year. We've talked about this before, and thank you, Ryan, for bringing this up. Maybe you could
Sure.
introduce and talk about where we are on this.
Absolutely. So this is the annual report. I believe it was brought to the committee at the two previous meetings. This is the report over multiple years that was developed based on input from the committee. This is the report that will ultimately go in front of our school board if you choose to adopt that report. This is a full fiscal year look, so it's essentially combining everything that we look at for an entire fiscal year into one report for Measure P and Measure I. And so this is for the 2021 fiscal year. We've already started on 21-22, which we will be bringing forward to the committee at a future meeting.
Are there any questions about the report?
And we did look at this exact report. There's been no edits or additions since the last time we looked at it.
We have not modified it, no.
Any questions? All right, do we have a motion to, and actually, first, before we approve this, anyone on the oversight committee, it'd be great to have, I know, Carmel and York, you've been there before. You know what, if we have the annual report come up, it's always great to have other committee members besides myself be there and say, we've been doing a great job as an oversight committee, and you and the public can feel confident that we check all the expenditures line by line and make sure that it's being spent properly. So I encourage you to do this. When do you think this will come up, Ryan?
I think we can probably shoot for a board meeting in October. I'll have to get back to you with the specific date, but what we could do is once we have the firm board meeting that this will be on the agenda, that this will be on, we'll send an invite to all of you if you would like to come to the meeting. I encourage you. That'd be great if you wanted to show up, so the board can see who you are, the people who work hard on the committee reviewing all of these expenditures.
I can tell you, it's great to go there and get easy praise for the work we've done. So come on over and have your morale boosted. All right, is there a motion to approve this?
All motion.
Okay, Adam has made the motion to approve. Is there a second?
I second.
Is that Ms. York? Or was that
Ms. Thomas, is that you?
Yes.
Excellent. All right, Heidi, let's do a roll call.
Kevin Bateman,
Aye.
Carmel York,
Aye.
Richard Pagnello, Ashika Shadea,
Aye.
Adam Gonzalez,
Aye.
Ethelyn Thomas,
Aye.
Tremaine Jones,
Aye.
Ashika, it sounds like you're now connected in. We can go back to B and please introduce yourself to the committee.
Sure. My name is Ashika Sadeo. I have 2 children that attend Marshall Elementary School, and I joined the committee as a parent.
Thank you for volunteering for this committee.
Thank you.
Welcome.
All right. By the way, Heidi, is a chance for you to talk about what vacancies we're trying to fill on this committee, because we did have a resignation.
Yeah, so we recently had a resignation of Mr. Tony Tallner. He was representing the business community. I will be putting a paper or ad in the paper again, soliciting representation for his position, as well as I do thank Ms. York for continuing to stay on the committee with us while we're keep trying to solicit a parent and a PTA member, as well as Ms. Efling has done the same. She's continued to be on the committee with us as a member at large representing Seaside, while we still look for another member at large.
Thank you. Future meeting dates. Next one is going to be December 7th, 2022.
And Mr. Chair, at
Yes,
that meeting, we will bring some future dates as well, since that will be our last meeting. So we'll bring some future dates.
for 2023.
Yes, correct.
Very good. Opportunity here, Kate, committee member comments.
Mr. Chair, Shemaine here. I'm wondering if it's possible to strongly encourage the committee members to have their video on during the meeting, if at all possible. I think as a public forum like this, it would be good to see that people are live and engaged, and half of our members are not visible.
Once again, I'm assuming we're doing a hybrid because that's the policy of the school district right now, is to do hybrid meetings. I don't know if there's a formal requirement, probably not, for what board members do. But yes, I agree. I think it's important that we see that people are here and engaged in the meeting, because as I mentioned before, when the trouble comes down, we want to make sure that everybody knows we've done our job, we're diligent, and we've been following things. So, you don't want anybody looking over meeting minutes and saying, oh, I don't know if those people were there or not. So let's keep that in mind as we go on. Good comment. Anybody else?
And I just want to add to that, I don't see you, Mr. Chairman. I wonder why that is. I have the gallery view and I'm not seeing you.
I'm not appearing in the room view. Let me put on my glasses.
I'm gonna go to full screen, just, I'm not even
That
seeing you.
little- What's that little thing? I see something scrolling around there. I'm not in that.
Do other people see the chair?
I do not.
Not really, from the screen.
You have to really look as you talk, it's showing them right now. We're next to Ryan. It moves back and forth. It pans to.
Now, yeah, Heidi, now I see him.
Well, I'll tell you what, maybe for the next one, I will sit next to you, Heidi, and risk COVID infection or vice versa. And we'll make sure that everybody knows in the chairs here. I understand it's probably awkward. You don't see me actually talking as I'm trying to be the chair of the meeting. So,
Oh, I see. You're in the room.
Yes,
yes, I am.
yes, he's live.
Okay.
All right, the mystery is solved. And actually, yeah, Adam is here too. So we've got two committee members who are here in person. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully in 2023, things will change and everybody will say we can, meet in person, comfortable, that we'll stay healthy.
And maybe the other option is that there's a camera that is also pointed at you and other committee members who are there live. I remember we've had that. I've been live and for some reason I was visible.
Yeah, I think Heidi's noting this, and we'll have I don't actually set up the cameras. I'm assuming that Heidi, the person who works on getting everything together. So we'll make sure that everybody is on camera for the next meeting.
Thank you.
All right, we are adjourned at 6:02. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
you.
Thank you.
What's the date? And what you can do next time is just join the Zoom link.